Alright, what's going on guys? gdoggcasey here, bringing you another Final Fantasy XIV tanking video. Welcome to Amdapor Keep. And we're gonna get right on rolling here. Say hello to the team, hello. And turn on our shield oath. And we're ready to roll. So we're finally done, at least for now, with the main scenario quest stuff. And looking to do an actual normal dungeon here. It's been a very long time since I've done this, so don't look for an optimal strategy here. We're just going to be making it through, basically. And I'll probably just kind of start remembering things as we go along. And if my teammates want to tell me that there's a better way or a more efficient way I can be doing it, then absolutely, I'll listen to them. I hit the provoke button by mistake there. I was trying to do Mercy Stroke. It's on a bit of a strange hotkey there, but I've gotten used to it. So I heard some of the, I read some of the comments about how the volume was a little bit too loud in previous episodes, and I'm totally with you guys on that. I really apologize. Audio levels is something that I strive for perfection, but the problem is that what I deem perfect is obviously different than what other people is going to deem perfect, right? For example, I think that the music is a great part of Final Fantasy XIV, and it's something that I try to let you guys hear in the videos. Although, in a lot of the dungeons, the music is pretty generic, because most of the time you're just moving from mob to mob, and when you're fighting, you're listening to the same old basic theme song for the battles. And really, in these episodes, it's more about the gameplay and more about the commentary than it is about, you know, the sound effects and about the music. You guys know my stance on Final Fantasy music and how much I love it, so I was trying to find a way to fit it in, and then you know, at the same time, I had the sound effects too loud, and basically ever since I did the format on my computer, I've been struggling to get the proper sound settings back. And not only that, but in regards to the Let's Play, like, I actually do think in the Let's Play, the music and the voice acting plays a big role, right? So I'm trying to balance, like, I think in the Let's Play series, the music and the game sounds are going to be a little bit louder than, you know, in this series. But basically, I just need to come up with, like, a good setting for doing the dungeons, and then a separate setting for doing the Let's Play. And as soon as I find the sweet spot with the Let's Play, things will be a lot better. But for now, I just kind of took the easy route, and I just lowered the volume pretty heavily. And I think this should work out. But I want you guys to let me know what you think, because there's still lots and lots of videos to come in this series. So there's lots of room for, you know, audio quality improvements and things like that. And we're not really doing anything too different here. Now that we've reached the level 50 dungeons, we're going to be level 50 for all of them. I'm just going to grab this guy, because why not? Just get him out of the way. But my rotation is going to be very similar for basically all of these level 50 dungeons. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will definitely get to them as soon as I can. Sometimes I read a message, like, while I'm at work or while I'm hanging out with a friend. Which way do we go? This way? While I'm hanging out with a buddy. And it'll be, like, an insightful comment that I really want to respond to, but I'm just not in the place. And I just forget. Next thing I know, like, a week later, I go through my all my comments to make sure I've responded to all the ones I want to. And next thing I know, there's, like, 3 or 4 comments, and I'm like, shit, I should have responded to that. I think I muted that, although now all of a sudden I'm not sure. If you guys did hear that, I really apologize. It's, whenever I take, like, a mini break from doing these types of videos... that was a misplay there. And then I go back to commentating, my throat just wants to kill me for it. I wonder if there's something you can do to, like... I'm approaching... what's the word? I'm approaching almost inappropriate topics here, but I'm wondering if there's like exercises you can do to to train your throat to be able to talk better, not to do anything else. I just want to be able to like project my voice for a decent amount of time without feeling like I'm tearing my throat apart. Feel free to make all the jokes you want about that. I don't really hate on funny jokes, regardless of how appropriate or inappropriate they are. But I really mean that, though. Like, it's something that I've struggled with sometimes. Now, back in the days when I used to cast StarCraft 2 on, like, a regular basis, that was when it was the hardest. But actually... Okay, so I know we can go that way. It depends on if the team wants to. Here's what I'll do. I'll pull these guys. Actually, I think we have to anyway to open up this barrier, right? So I'm not actually sure if it's a big deal or not. There's a soul collector here. I don't know. Oh, there he is. Frodo's flash here because I'm just sort of not really confident in my threat generation for that pull. It looks like everything's okay. I've been doing more rotating between the mobs here. I've got some comments about it. I don't think it's always needed, but it is good practice to just sort of do. Why am I losing a lot of health here? Is the healer around? Oh, there he is. Probably just doing damage. Yeah, see, they want to go through, so we'll go through. We could go kill those guys, but what's the real point? Alright, so I don't really remember the boss mechanics here, which is becoming a theme, as you guys probably know. I basically just try to wing it. Usually what that means is I end up getting hit by, like, the first pretty powerful attack that I should have been able to dodge if I knew the mechanics any better. Whoops, hit the wrong button there. Can we just kill this guy? I'll let them finish him off. I'll just focus on this Psych Flare. I'm sure he's got magic of some description. I don't know if he is gonna spawn ads or anything. So I always hold on to my Circle of Scorn in boss fights in case I need it to bring in some ads. Alright, so usually when it's tethered like this, it means we gotta kill this dude. Can I attack? I mean, this is a pretty basic mechanic. I'm gonna use my defensive cooldowns here, mostly because I don't know. It's not that I don't trust the healer, it's just that I seem to be getting kind of low. So I'm just helping the healer out. Alright, we took care of that guy. This dude is not tethered. So I'm actually not sure if we even really need to worry about him. Hopefully we can get out of this circle. There we go. I'm not sure. It looks like we might be able to burn this guy down fast enough. I think he's just there to spawn, like, big AoEs that we'll have to be on the lookout for. Keeping an eye. Here's what we do. We hit hallowed ground, so we can just stand in this and hopefully he doesn't kill us. Look at that. 0 damage. That is the heads-up play of the game, guys. Something I should do a lot more often. Hallowed ground is, like, probably my best ability, in, you know, at least in terms of tanking. And you can use it to just straight up ignore a whole bunch of really tough mechanics. Also, towards, and it's on a 5-minute cooldown, which is pretty big, but basically it means, like, you can use it every boss. What does it do exactly? Renders you impervious to most attacks. So, you know, not the most descriptive. Hopefully it actually does mean, like, most attacks, like maybe 90 to 95% of them. There's probably going to be some boss mechanics that, you know, it doesn't... Okay, I know these things come alive. Yeah, nice try. You thought you were being tricksy, but I knew it was coming. Go. There's going to be more as well as I'm pretty sure anyway. I start to remember things as they happen. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just other rooms where they come to life. I don't know. Brontotor. So far, it's been pretty easy. Yeah, when we got the mage using AoEs like that, it's much more beneficial to start cycling through the mobs. And as long as you do that, there's pretty much no way you'll lose threat. And if you do, you have multiple tools at your disposal to get it back. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright. Put a 1 on this guy. Alright, we got a pretty big fight here, because guaranteed this other dude's gonna run in. Let's use a couple flashes here, and we'll use our Circle of Scorn. Should hit everybody. This guy is not on me right now. He's hitting someone else, so we'll just focus him a bit. And we're just gonna switch targets. Basically every combo. It's not like set in stone that way, but it seems to work. We don't have anyone targeted, so it looks like the DPS is a little confused on who to attack. The mage is just attacking everyone, which is totally fine. Hit the wrong button again. Don't really need to go on that guy. As a rule of thumb, I try to attack the person who has the most health. Because that indicates to me that they haven't been hit recently, and maybe I should hit them. It's not necessarily, again, set in stone, but it's just sort of something that I do. Hope that person's happy with those X ethers that I gave them from that chest. Alright, here we're going to have statues come to life and this going on, so I'm aware of this. We're going to wait. I see the Dragoon is kind of going off on her own. Which is okay, but not necessarily helpful. Unless your damage is so good that you can actually just kill the thing on your own before it does any significant damage to you, but that's not usually the case. Alright, this Hound Light. See, it's got the most health. So I'm just worried that, you know, eventually I'll lose threat on it, so I just bring it down a notch and continue on with the fight. Use Mercy Stroke. And we'll go get this chest as well. I don't know what it is about chests, but I struggled. Hey, I got them this time. Struggle with opening chests. Okay. Well, we'll pull him. We're gonna pop 2 flashes here, and then our Circle of Scorn, and then our Bloodbath, because I want to get some health back. We're getting low, so we're gonna pop all of our defensive cooldowns again, and we're just gonna start spreading our combo around here, try to hit everybody with it. Hopefully hit the right buttons. When I get a little spammy, sometimes I tend to hit the wrong buttons, which is a problem because it actually affects your combos and stuff. So you want to not do that. There we go. Easy peasy. Probably more statue dudes. No? Alright. There's the thing I was targeted on. Hit him a few times, come over here, hit this guy a few times. Sidestep the AoE. And there we go, and look who it is. It's the Demon Wall. which is kind of iconic Final Fantasy boss in other games. What does Nocturnal Field do? Nullifies damage. So this guy's got some interesting mechanics, if I remember right. I don't actually remember what they all are. I know we want to get out of that. I think he can knock you off the edge if you're not careful. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen when we can. Otherwise, we're just going to tank and spank it until otherwise noted. I don't think there's mobs, so I'm actually just going to use Circle of Scorn. It does do a bleed effect, which will help after a while. Oh, we lost our Dragoon. Well, there's a damage source lost. Get out of there. Just going to keep hammering on him, though. He'll eventually die. That's the thing. So you can get knocked off if you're standing on an edge. So you basically just want to stand in front of him. Because one of his abilities has a big knockback, and if you're at a certain angle, it will actually just knock you off the edge. And we don't want that, do we? And this is very basic otherwise. We're just using our main combo and trying to damage him as much as we can, and casting all the spells that are proccing when they proc. For example, Mercy Stroke or Shield Swipe. Everything off cooldown in our normal rotation, and there we go. Easy. I think the first time I fought this guy, I got knocked off, and it seems a bit tougher than it actually is. Yeah, we don't need any of this. And away we go. One more boss left. It's been pretty simple so far. Even the, the normal mob packs are pretty good. I suppose we should wait for the Dragoon. I suppose. Or do they not want to? Interesting mask you got there. Yeah, we can just go, I guess. I imagine the Dragoon is coming. Oh, let's roll. We did the boss without him. Well, if the healer's not paying attention, we need the healer. He's coming. Alright, the Dragoon will find his way, hopefully. Or is he just gone? Why does he have Prospect on? If it becomes a problem, we'll kick him, and we'll just get another DPS. We made it. So we're just following the path here. It looks complicated. It's linear as fuck. Alright, this will be a decent fight. Because we don't shy away from extra mobs around here. So we'll put this combo into the main dude and then move around. Run this combo. And hit the Dullahan. And he did. Alright. Oh, what? Does that thing have aggro on us? go. Seems like our team is pretty AoE heavy today. But because we're switching targets and keeping threat active on all of our enemies, it's going all right. So when a new mob comes in, I just automatically target it and give it a full combo. Go back to the old one, who's probably getting hit a lot. See, it's a fine line, because if you ignore a target who is getting pelted by your DPS nonstop, then yeah, you're probably going to lose threat eventually to the DPS. But if you ignore a target that is not taking any hits from anything, then you might actually lose him to the healer, because the healing that the healer does is enough to pull threat from those guys as well. So it's a bit of a fine line. It's not that complicated. At least it hasn't gotten to be that complicated for me yet. You know, it'd be cool if in like the very hard dungeons that it does get very complicated, where like switching targets and stuff is mandatory to get through it. But I mean, cast flash a few times and you have that done for you as well. Looks like we're doing alright here. AoE is actually doing pretty well. Alright, he's dead. I think we're approaching the final boss here. Not quite yet. You know what? Let's make it fun. Come here. Let's fight them both. This guy's already almost dead anyway. Well, once again, we've been blessed with a very competent team, so they're making our life very easy. And here we go, the Presence Chamber. Oh, we've killed bigger things than you. So I can't remember. I have a feeling there are some mechanics here that are probably important. Particularly, oh, okay, yeah, so he's got a tail swipe. So the DPS want to actually stay on the left and right side. Also, I'm pretty sure these statues are going to do something. So I'm going to hold on to my Circle of Scorn this time because I'm almost positive I'll need it. We'll just tank and spank them. It looks like they're standing right in the tail range. Yeah, they should probably move. That's not my job, guys. There we go. I could be a real dick and like come over here, but I won't do that. Alright, something happening here. Again, we're just tanking and spanking here. Really nothing too special. There we go. Come here. I imagine we might want to kill this. I can't 100% tell. So we're going to target it for now. We'll use the Circle of Scorn. I don't know. Maybe we'll just focus the boss. Is another tower gonna come to life? Man, they could have just all came to life at the same time and it still would have been easy to manage. They're only gonna give us one. Limit break. I'll do it. It actually didn't let me do it. That's weird. Well, there you have it. I exaggerated that. Yeah, that's Amdapor Keep, the normal version. Very, very simple, actually. We did not struggle with basically anything. Partly because we're really awesome, but You know, also partly because we had a really awesome team, mostly because it's just a fairly simple dungeon. So, still pretty interesting though. At this point, when we get to like the hard mode dungeon, so let's go ahead and give our accommodation to the healer, who did a great job. When we do these, when we start to get into the hard mode dungeons, some of them are relatively tough, but really it's more about just revisiting some of the old places that we've done way back, like Sastasha, Copperbell Mines, Halatali. They all have like hard modes, which is just really awesome. It's something that I wish WoW did, although I say I wish WoW did it. I don't even play WoW, so honestly I don't even care. WoW can do whatever it wants, but it's a really cool thing that Final Fantasy does, where you go back and you're thinking like, okay, you know, the first time I did Sastasha hard, I was like, alright, it's probably the same dungeon, just with like level 50 enemies. But no, it's a totally different dungeon, just with the same aesthetic and different bosses and everything. So it's really cool. Anyway, that's off topic. On topic is we completely dismantled Amdapor Keep. So that is that, and we'll see you in the next one when we take on Barrow Sirius. So we'll see you then. Alright guys, have a good one.